Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. In today's video, we are going to be taking a tour of my Storybook Vale storage system, which is on the 4th floor of my main house. In terms of my storage system and how I like to keep everything in terms of collecting resources and gathering materials, my first and second floor consist of the base game resources. The third floor is for Eternity Isle, and the fourth floor is for Storybook Vale. Now, for anyone who has Storybook Vale, at the moment, since we only have part 1 of Storybook Vale available for us to play, we don't have as many resources just yet, or we might be able to get more in part 2. We're not really sure. So this tour is just consisting of all of the things from part 1. So the first room, which is where we are right now, is for all of my materials that you can dig, mine, and forge essentially. So I've done it in a little bit of a interesting theme. So for example, on this side I have all of the ones that you can get in Mythopia. So if we go into the chest, you'll notice that some of them are silver chests and some of them are regular chests. That just depends on how many of those materials I have. So here I have gravel in this chest. I keep having materials. For example, here we have the marble and so on and so forth. And of course, on this side I have things for ever after, so we can see the fairy bubbles and the moss and all of the things, even some of the stuff that you can fish. For example, these teeth that you get in ever after when you fish over there, the sea monster tooth. And on this side, I have things that you can get from the bind. Now, of course, you can get the petrified wood when you're mining in Ever After as well. So it's almost like a combination of the bind and other biomes. And here as well, we have the clay and the volcanic ash. Now, because we have less material in Storybook Vale, I thought it would be a cool idea to have some mannequins with outfits that are dedicated to Storybook Vale. So for example, this exclusive set that we got when Storybook Vale came out, along with the dress I'm wearing, which is actually on this mannequin right here. And then I also decided to put 2 of the male mannequin attires. I just really love those outfits. We get this from Flynn's reward quest, and this we also got from when we initially got Storybook Vale, and I just really love how it looks. I personally, with this one specifically, I was going for more of a Bridgerton aesthetic, so it kind of reminds me a little bit of Colin Bridgerton, which is what I was attempting to go for. I don't know if anyone else can see that, but that was just me. And in the center, it was pretty empty, so I decided to do one of the marble chairs as well as the marble fountain. I love the sound that the fountain kind of emits throughout the room. It just makes it feel like you're outdoors, but still indoors. And in terms of the doors, I wanted to use the French doors from Tiana. I think it matches the best in all of this. I would have considered using Mulan's door, but just the white color of this I think suits the aesthetic very, very well. Next, we're going to go into the room that's on the right of my entrance, and this is for my kitchen. And I decided to go with a Tangled theme for this. One of my favorite movies in Disney is Tangled, and since we did get Flynn in the Storybook Vale, I thought it would be really nice to use the Tangled wallpaper. And I did use the frozen counters, but since it does look very artistic and decorated, I thought it would match really well with this theme. Now, in terms of my layout, and I actually did this on a live stream, which you can go and check out if you want, but my idea was to have all of the harvestable, forgeable items on one side. So for example, the spiral strawberries, the persimmon, and stuff like that you can harvest from the fruit trees and fruit bushes in the valleys. So I thought this would be like a cool idea to have all of them in one place. So if at any point I consider creating an orchard in Storybook Vale, I'll have all of them in the same area, and then I can just go one by one to all of these chests that are right next to each other. Of course, I did have a cooking station added here as well so that I can cook if I need to create any meals for quests, etc. And in the middle center island that I created, as well as this back row right here, are all of the items that you get by buying seeds at Goofy stalls and planting and harvesting them. And I've again categorized them based on biome. So we have, I think this is the bind over here. Then we've got Ever After, and we have the Mythopia items right over here. Now this side is for items that you can fish. So for example, the sea salts, as well as I think these are sea grapes. You can fish them from here from Ever After, and this one from the bind. So it felt fitting to have them next to each other. So if I go on a fishing spree, I can just put them in the chests that are very, very close together. And last but not least, or actually second last, because I noticed there's something at the end there, over here are all of the forgeable items. So for example, these two items you can find in the bind, the mushrooms you can find in Ever After, and the lightning spice you can find in Mythopia. So I wanted to put them next to each other as well. And like with all of my rooms, I have a gold chest. So if I say am in a live stream or I'm too lazy and I end up forging and harvesting things, I can just come and dump everything that belongs in this kitchen into this gold chest, and then at a later time I can segregate everything and put it in its allotted chest area. Now this last storage item here is for all of the items that you can buy from Goofy Stall ready-made. So we don't have to plant these or harvest these at all. You just buy it from Goofy Stall. So for example, the plain yogurt, the ambrosia, the golden apple. It just depends which biome you're in. Some biomes, so for example, in the bind you get the shovelbird egg and the flyleaf feta. And in some of the biomes you get in Mythopia, I think you get the Elysian grain, the golden apple, and the ambrosia. And in Ever After, you get the plain yogurt. So it was kind of like a simple idea, so I don't need to overspend and buy too many of those items. I can maybe just buy 20, 30 and keep them stored here for when I want to cook meals, and I can always refill it whenever I want. Next, we're gonna go into my fishing room, I call it. Now, I'm happy with how this turned out, especially the centerpiece. So I decided to use Ursula's cauldron, and I had a really cool idea to use the fairy bubbles in one of the decorative bubbles so that it almost looks like the cauldron is bubbling up, and then I put 3 bubbles, or 3 of the higher tier bubbles on top of it, so it looks like the bubbles are coming out of the cauldron and just immersing themselves into the room. On the left side here, I have the items that you can get from Mythopia. So for example, the mussel, these 2 fish, and this seafood item here. I did wish that all of these items could sit up or stand up straight so it doesn't look like the seahorse is on its side, but that's okay. I did want to use this Ursula window. I think it looks really, really pretty, and the light it reflects is also so nice into this room. I also did end up crafting blue chests because the regular brown chests just didn't look good. It didn't look good in this room, so I used up a lot of resources and I crafted these blue chests. And you will notice that I don't have a gold chest in this room. I couldn't find a place for it. It looked a little bit out of turn. If I do end up getting one in the future, I'll probably place it underneath this window. On this side, I have fish and seafood from the bind. So for example, the crab, the koi, and I don't remember the name of this, but another fish. And then the last but not least is the lamprey from Ever After. So I was pretty happy with this. I kind of went with a combination of a Frozen theme and an Ursula theme. So I think it worked out really well. The Frozen door looks nice. Hopefully in the future we'll get more option for doors in the game. And of course I can always use Touch of Magic and create my own doors. I just haven't had time for that at the moment. And I think this is my favorite room that I have made for Storybook Vale in terms of my storage system. And this is based on the Library of Lore theme. I had Beauty and the Beast in mind when I was creating this because, as you probably know, Belle has an affinity for books and reading, so I think this is a place that would suit her very, very well. I decided to use the small chest that you get when you complete the Lore Keeper puzzle for Princess and the Frog. It looks very, very cute and adorable. So on the side, I have the 3 different flowers for every single biome, the Bind, Ever After, and Mythopia. And I also have dedicated chests for the snippets. So for example, the Demon snippet, the Frog snippet, and the Bird snippet. And on this side, since we don't have a lot of mining or gems available in Storybook Vale, there were only 4 of them, so they fit perfectly here in this little room. And I do also have a gold chest here because there are a lot of items, so it does make it easy, and I had room to place the chest, so why not? I do want to bring something to your attention when it comes to these small chests. They are not able to be placed on rugs, so definitely keep that in mind. I got lucked out. I was able to place this rug and place the chest right in the corner because these chests are 2 by 1 tiles, so they're smaller than your average chest that you have in the game, which is one very big bonus when it comes to this chest, but the only downside is that it cannot be placed on rugs, so definitely keep that in mind. The last little feature I added that I really like, I think it adds a lot of character to the room. I slightly tilted the last bookshelves at the very end, and I really like how that turned out. I was pleasantly surprised because it seemed to add more character and depth to the room, and it almost makes it look a little bit longer and slimmer, which I really like. And the final touch I added to the room was, of course, the floating candles, which I recently got from a premium shop drop. But that is all I have for my tour. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know what your favorite room has been on this tour, which one you like, which one you think could be improved. If you have any suggestions, I would love to hear it in the comments. Feel free to replicate my designs or use it as inspiration for your own designs. As long as it helps you, that is all that matters. But thank you guys so much for following me along in this video. I hope you guys had a wonderful time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can check out my Discord channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!